March 4th marks the beginning of the 2025 legislative session here in the state of Florida, and we thought it was imperative for you to understand what is on the agenda for our lawmakers this year. Hey y'all, Dr. BGC with Justice Over Everything, your civic educators. Let's get into this. In the House of Representatives, there are 120 representatives that span all across the state. Each of them has 7 bill slots that they can fill. Over on the Senate side of the House, things are a little different. There are only 40 senators that represent the state, and each of those 40 has an unlimited amount of bill slots that they can offer. Now, if you recall, each of the chambers has their own committees that they engage with. Those committees can also propose bills that will not take up a bill slot for a representative or on the Senate side. Those are called proposed committee bills, or PCB. Now we have appropriations. So appropriations are bills, but not in the traditional sense, in that they go through a different process. These requests for funds go to support programs or initiatives can be submitted by a community member, a local leader, or an organization. And as we mentioned, they are similar to a bill in that they do visit committees and subcommittees, but go through a budget process that looks differently than a traditional bill. Senate members have the special ability to have member projects. These member projects are funding initiatives or programs that do not go through the same appropriations process that we just mentioned. And then, lastly, is this option called Sprinkle. Sprinkle allows House leadership or Senate leadership to provide additional funding to a project or an initiative that may not have gotten funded through the traditional appropriations process. So as session gets started tomorrow, I'm certain that you are thinking, well, how many bills are in the House and the Senate that we're looking at? Across both houses right now, we're looking at 1,824 pieces of proposed legislation. That's 899 proposed House bills and PCBs and 925 proposed Senate bills and PCBs. As for appropriations requests, look a little different. On the Senate side, there is 962 funding initiative requests. Of course, on the House side, there are 2,598 appropriation project requests. Now, Justice Over Everything is committed to following pieces of legislation that will impact you and your day-to-day life. Stay tuned for part 2, where we're going to dive into what bill categories are we focused on most this legislative session.